Hello, this is the Kenyan Siasa. Adam host Bali Yodanadawa. The folks of the Kenyan Siasa, the immediate former Deputy President Rigathi got impeached in the year 2024. And after this impeachment, Rigathi filed a case challenging his impeachment that it wasn't done in accordance with the law or with the constitution, that there was a breach of the law by both lower and upper house, parliament and senate. This case has taken some time before reaching its conclusion, and on this week, on Monday, finally, the court gave its verdict, and the verdict upheld the impeachment of Rigathi, meaning that the court's conclusion is that the impeachment followed the required procedure or steps in impeaching Rigathi. And you know it very well now, the repercussion of this. For one who is impeached, they can't run or they can't vie for any political post for a period of 10 years. Meaning that if we go with this verdict, Rigathi right now isn't eligible to vie for any post in the next year 2027 general elections. Dear folks of the Kenyan Siasa, in this episode, our binoculars is focusing on the aftermath of this verdict that we were given by the court on Monday. The verdict of Rigathi impeachment being upheld. Number one, we can say that with Rigathi now, yes, we know it very well that still Rigathi still has several avenues to pursue or options to pursue. He has the right, he has the freedom to appeal the case, to challenge the verdict of the High Court in the appellate court. But things standing right now, we can say that Rigathi is politically paralyzed. This verdict strangulates him politically because based on the constitution requirements on eligibility to vie for a post, one who is impeached can't vie. And therefore, you can't have that full bragging authority if you're not even in a position to vie for a political post. You can't have that persuasive power, maybe even to marshal your stronghold or backyard populace towards a certain area. If you're paralyzed, you can't vie for a post. Therefore, we can say that this one might affect him negatively with regards to him trying to position himself strategically as the Mount Kenya kingpin. You know it very well that after the impeachment, Rigathi managed to successfully whip the Mount Kenya emotions with regards to what he termed as unfair treatment that he got by being impeached, and therefore this one earned him that mercy or pity from a wide populace in the Mount Kenya region. And now Rigathi was becoming a darling and technically becoming the kingpin of Mount Kenya. With this strangulation or with this paralysis by the court verdict, we can say that to a great extent, his influence in the mountain might get negatively affected. And this might give the immediate former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, chances to rise with regards to having a say in the Mount Kenya region politics. Because after the 2022 general elections, Uhuru's side of the late Raila Odinga being defeated, we can say that Uhuru's influence in the mountain shrank by a great deal. And now, if the rising star of Rigathi Gachagua de-escalates, we can say that this might give the immediate former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta some chances to get elevated or rise with regards to having a say in the Mount Kenya politics as a kingpin. Another phenomenon that might arise as an aftermath of the verdict that we were given on Monday is that Kalonzo's fortunes with regards to becoming the president or with regards to becoming a forefront runner against President William Ruto in the 2027 general elections is going to increase, or his fortunes are going to get better. Yes, Kalonzo is in the race for the presidency in the 2027 general elections. Kalonzo is a kingpin of the Akamba community. The Kamba have a formidable numbers with regards to registered voters. But you know it very well that Akamba population in Kenya is they're at approximately number 5 among the communities of Kenya. So they're not minority, or we are not saying that their numbers are low, but technically their numbers are not that formidable to a point where one can say that they can confidently bank on that number as a kickstart for their journey to that race. They have a formidable number, but for somebody coming from the Akamba nation, for a kickstart of their race for the presidency, the person will still need other communities. And therefore, Kalonzo has been highly banking on the Gema, the Mount Kenya populace. You know it very well that the Mount Kenya region has a rich basket with regards to registered voters. Now, if Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment wasn't upheld, it technically means that Rigathi Gachagua would have been in the race for the presidency in the 2027 general elections. And this would have left Kalonzo Musyoka with only the Akamba nation votes to bank on. But now, with Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment being upheld, it technically means that he won't be vying for the presidency. And if he won't be vying for the presidency, this one gives Kalonzo Musyoka a better chance of scooping some votes in the Mount Kenya region. Another outcome of this verdict that took place on Monday is that we might end up having voter apathy situation in the Mount Kenya region. Considering the fact that, one, Raila Amolo Odinga, the late Raila Amolo Odinga, is no longer with us. For those of you who are conversant with these political streets in Kenya, one of the big motivators that used to make the Mount Kenya region to rise early in the morning to vote was a vote against Raila Amolo Odinga. But right now, Raila Amolo Odinga is not there. And on the other side, Rigathi Gachagua, who had gained popularity and was planning to vie for the presidency, right now is not in a position to vie for the presidency based on the impeachment being upheld. Therefore, what motivation will they have to wake up in the morning to go and vote? We're not saying that they won't vote. They will vote, yes, but they might not come out with that vigor, with that motivation. The one associated with for example, the 2017 election of Kumira. We might not see that vigor or that excitement on that day of voting. Therefore, the voting populace of Mount Kenya region might reduce in the 2027 general elections because they might not have a better motivation to induce them or give them the impetus to go and vote. And finally, you can just say that the aftermath of this verdict is that right now, Rigathi Gachagua is going to the drawing board, and he should have one and only mission: to see to it that he marshals, to see to it that he uses all his energies, all his passion, all his spirits to come around or coalesce around a formidable presidential candidate and give that presidential candidate his full support, just to see to it that that candidate is strong and defeats William Ruto. This will be a solace, will be a therapy to Rigathi Gachagua as a revenge to President William Ruto, who engineered his impeachment. If they manage to identify one strong, formidable candidate, give that candidate full support, formidable support, to see to it that President William Ruto is sent home, Pibok Sugoi, in the 2027 general elections. This will be a therapy. This will be a revenge on President William Ruto for having engineered his impeachment in the year 2024. Dear folks of the Kenyan Siasa, we reached the halt of this episode. For those of you who are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, the Kenyan Siasa, we beseech you to show some love by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And for those of you who are subscribed to our YouTube channel, the Kenyan Siasa, we're humbled, we're glad, thank you. Remember that the Kenyan Siasa is the pinnacle of the Kenyan political echelon dynamics dissection. I'm Jabali Odawa and Adawa. Until next time, bye-bye.